I said, congratulations, sir, and could you describe for us what the wait was like there?
Yeah, for sure. I know going into this process, my ultimate goal was hear my name called, and I was able to hear that today, so it's definitely a dream come true. The best thing about it, I was gathered with family throughout this whole process. It's definitely a unique journey for sure, not knowing where you can go, but it's all about that right spot, and I know I'm in the right spot moving forward.
Why do you say this is the right spot?
Right spot, 'cause I know there's a community of people that believe in me, that's all in on me. I felt that from the jump when I visited Seattle for my 30th visit and being around the coaching staff. And then it's a great vibe, so I just enjoyed my whole journey when I was there.
What was your takeaway from that visit? What was the experience like?
So first off, I've never been into Seattle, Washington. The previous staff at Washington raved about the city and talked about it, and so I've never been to that part of the world. So my first visit over there was, I took it all in, number one, but also just seeing the facility, seeing who's all involved with the coaching staff, meeting everyone, and then also just picking up with who's going to be coached by me. So it was just a great visit overall.
Jaylen, how did the discussions with the coaching staff go in regard to learning about the offense and where they envision you fitting in?
Yeah, so no matter where I was selected, I'm going to have to learn the offense. So that's for any quarterback, no matter who you are. And so I know that going in. And also the best thing for any rookie quarterback to have a veteran in the room. And so that's awesome just to have that going into this quarterback room, and then also just the knowledge base that's behind it. So I'm just so super excited for just a new journey, a new chapter of my life to be in Seattle.
Jaylen, I think the natural assumption, just given your skill set, given the depth chart here, given Clint Kubiak's history with Taysom Hill, has been that you could potentially come in and fill a role similar to that. What's your thought on that? What's your willingness to fill kind of that maybe Wildcat type role in Seattle, at least early on?
So I'm coming in to learn, grow, and bring nothing but positive vibes to the offense, and fulfilling all that as a necessity with my role in the team. So, of course, once I get there, I'll understand my niche for sure. But, ideally, I'm competing, no matter what day it is, no matter how many reps I get, competing for when that opportunity presents itself at the quarterback position.
Jaylen, after starting 2 years at Alabama, which areas of your game do you look at as your greatest focus to improve here coming to Seattle?
I think, of course, throughout my time frame playing football, there's always room for improvement. That's for any player. And so I just know that mastering the game of football, playing sound and key to my reads, that's when I'm at my best. And so I understand that, and I know that I'm going to be in the best situation with this coaching staff, so I'm super excited.
What was last season like at Alabama, playing with Kalen DeBoer and with him taking over for Saban and that change and everything?
I had so much fun last year. I had no regrets from last season. I was surrounded by a lot of great coaches that that poured everything into our room, and so that's why I have no regrets leaving this past season. But also just was enjoying the process with the new staff. I was Coach Saban's last quarterback and Coach DeBoer's first quarterback at Alabama, so I have a unique journey as I went to my senior year.
Jaylen, you did a lot of shotgun in college, and Clint Kubiak does a lot of under center. You practiced that a little bit at the Senior Bowl. You talk about that and how much that was part of a transition and learning process?
Yeah, so, throughout my whole time playing football, I've gone on a center. Of course, rep-wise in games, it's limited as it is to playing in the NFL and seeing the national stage, but I've been on the center throughout my time frame. And so it wouldn't be too much of a crutch, going into the league, so I'm just prepared for it.
What was the meeting like with the Seahawks when you came out here for the 30 visit, and what do you feel like they were trying to learn about you when they were getting to know you?
Yeah, so the Seahawks believe I'm the best quarterback in the draft, and they emphasize that. And then also with them getting to know me is, spending time with me, one-on-one at the facility, and just, talking ball as well. So we just took it as an opportunity to, get to know me, how I view X's and O's, what drives me, all the process when it comes to preparation, all those different things. I was able to talk to everyone in the staff about that.
What made you think this was the right place, Jaylen, and what made you think that they were in on you?
Number one, words of affirmation. Number two, just the belief system of everyone there. That's all it takes. You walk differently, you play differently when you have an army behind you, and that's what I have. And so I'm super excited about it. Just knowing that I'm going into a culture that's wanting to win, that's wanting to achieve great things, and I'm going to bring that as a rookie and throughout my whole time being in Seattle.
Jalen, do you think you're the best quarterback in the draft, and do you have any message for the teams that passed on you today?
Built to ass.
Jalen, when you were in the pocket and you were asked to go through your progressions, obviously you have elite running skills, but how were you coached and how did you process, okay, if my first isn't there, how much were you encouraged to then run as opposed to stay in the pocket, no, go to your second or your third or your check down? Just kind of talk how you've been coached to use your athleticism within the construct of a pass offense.
So my second passing touchdown against West Kentucky, I went through a full progression and we scored a passing touchdown. So I've done it before, and I will continue to do it. There's nothing I can't do in the football field. The things I can improve on, absolutely. But it's nothing I can't do on the football field. I've thrown every type of touchdown, stepping up in the pocket, throwing on the run. I'm going through my progressions. I've thrown a check down and they scored. I've used my legs. So, when looking at it, pick and choose what you want on the field. I can do it. So I say that humbly, not over arrogant. It's just more just knowing what I bring to the table and knowing that I just a different dynamic when it comes to being on the football field that I know I'm going to utilize in the NFL.
Jalen, what did you learn about yourself last year during some of the down moments there, like the loss to Vanderbilt and coming out of that and those sorts of circumstances that maybe you guys hadn't had to deal with in prior seasons there at Alabama?
So I don't think not too many people can say this, but I can say this, proudly. I never lost a game back-to-back in my entire life of playing football. Why I mention that is because, of course, you're going to have failure, you're going to have lessons throughout your time frame of playing football. It's out of how you regroup, how you regroup from adversity. And my theme of my whole life is next play mentality. Not leaning on failures to drive me. And that's something that's been emphasized with my whole time frame playing football. And so I emphasize that when it comes to week to week playing different games. One game doesn't lean on to the next game, and so no matter if it's a win, no matter if it's a loss, it's all how you can regroup and be the best version of yourself so that you can compete at the highest level that's necessary so you can win.
Are you still in Green Bay? Did you stay there for today or?
No, I'm in Houston.
Okay.
Jalen, you played against Nick Emani when he was at South Carolina, and now he's your teammate. Just what do you remember about facing him, game planning for him?
Yeah, so one thing, he's utilized all over the football field. And so when you utilize all over the football field, that means you're special. You're unique at the player that you are. We know that going into the week, how good of a player he is, the size he has, the range that he plays with. And so it's going to be great to be teammates with him, and just, build together as rookies, come in doing all that we need to so we can help the team out.
You stayed at the draft in Green Bay throughout the first round, is that right?
That's right.
What was that experience like? Were you upset? Were you mad? What'd you take of that?
Look, no matter where I was drafted, I still had to come in and prove myself and earn the trust and respect of guys in the locker room. And so it wasn't a necessity to hear my name called early on or later on. It didn't really matter to me. It was more hearing my name called because I knew that team was all in on me, and they saw something in me that other team didn't. So it was all about opportunity. So it didn't really matter when I was selected.
Did you talk to Jaylen Herz or Tua through this process?
Jaylen Herz for sure.
And what were the conversations about?
It's more of an intimate, dialogue. But that's my guy. He's someone that's supportive of mine, and so it's just something unique about the Jalen's for sure.
Jalen, if you were breaking down your own game, being super critical of yourself, both positive and negative, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And what do you bring to the table here?
Take less sacks, play on time, and be me. That's the area of growth when it comes to being me. I know that I'm not one-dimensional at the quarterback position. I'm a problem solver. I'm a student of the game and love football.
Good. Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jalen.
Thank you, Jalen.
Congrats.
Congrats.